Welcome to The Know, I'm Brian. We've got a ton of E3 announcements to get to, so let's dig in. Ubisoft kicked things off with a marching band and dancers, because this is Ubisoft after all, and they announced Just Dance 2019, and from there, they went on to spend a lot of time with Beyond Good and Evil 2, showing off more of the storyline and the ship's crew. Oh, and we got a surprise reveal that the character Jade will make an appearance. We also got to see some pre-alpha footage showing off the city of Ganesha. Then they announced a partnership with actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt and his company Hit Record to let fans contribute art and music to the game. Kind of an interesting collaboration. There's no release date yet, but they said they're going to show off more at BGE Fest. That's the game's first community event, and it's happening in Montpellier, France this fall. Then they announced that the Trials Racing franchise is returning with Trials Rising. It's due out February of 2019 for PS4, PC, Xbox One, and the Switch. Then Ubisoft busted out the big guns and gave us The Division 2. They showed off a beautiful trailer of an America that has collapsed into civil war 7 months after the viral outbreak from the original Division. They also announced that for the first time, 8-person raids will be coming to the game, so that's really cool. Oh, and it'll be getting free DLC packs. Totally awesome. It's releasing March 15th of next year for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Ubisoft also announced some DLC for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's called Donkey Kong Adventure DLC. It's out June 26th. Ubisoft also showed off a trailer for their pirate combat adventure Skull and Bones. It showed off a ton of naval combat and swashbuckling action. Of course, we didn't get a ton of detail aside from the cinematics. Certainly looked interesting. No firm release date on the game, but they're now saying it'll be out sometime in 2019. Then we got a surprise appearance from Elijah Wood, who showed up to talk about a VR game Transference that his production company is working with Ubisoft Montreal on. That's due out this fall, PS4, Xbox One, Rift, Vive, and PSVR. There was also a new trailer for the new open world racer The Crew 2 that releases on June 29th for PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. Then they announced the space fighting game Starlink Battle for Atlas, and if you're a Switch owner, you get a super nice little Easter egg, Fox McCloud. Yeah, he was unveiled as an exclusive part of the game for Switch owners. Miyamoto was in the crowd. There was a whole thing. They gave him a ship. It was so cool. It's due out October 16th later this year. Ubisoft also announced an expansion for For Honor called Marching Fire and a new mode where teams of 4 square off. That releases October 16th. And last but not least, we got a ton of gameplay for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's set in ancient Greece. You'll be able to pick your own character, male or female, who you'll play as for the whole game. Like I said, ton of gameplay. They showed off the game's branching dialogue options, which is a first for the series. It releases October 5th on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Later in the night, we heard from Sony, who started things off with a bang with gameplay footage from The Last of Us 2. That trailer kicked off with an older Ellie dancing and making out with her girlfriend, and we got to see gameplay of Ellie stalking around. She was shooting bad guys with arrows and pistols. She was hiding under cars, doing a little crafting. We got to see the old UI back. Definitely a return to the stealth gameplay from the first game. That is fine with me. It looked awesome. Next up, we got a trailer showing off the beautiful Ghost of Tsushima, the open world samurai game from Sucker Punch. It's set in feudal Japan, centers around the Mongol invasion of the Japanese island of Tsushima. No release date yet, but we will be following that. Then we got a new look at the third-person action game called Control. It's from the developer Remedy, who brought us Max Payne. Looks like it features a lady with telekinetic powers, little Jean Grey action. It's due out sometime next year. Then they showed off the Resident Evil 2 remaster. That's due out on January 25th of 2019. Sony also showed off more Kingdom Hearts 3 footage because everyone is doing that. This time they showed Sora and the gang in a Pirates of the Caribbean world. Again, that's due out early next year in January. We've definitely seen Kingdom Hearts 3 footage sprinkled in a ton of presentations so far. Then Sony got to another one of its big exclusives, Death Stranding from Hideo Kojima. We got to see some gameplay, and it was of the Norman Reedus character walking around a moss-covered landscape that some think could be Iceland. This game has been famously weird and hard to figure out, and guess what? This trailer was no different. Then we got an announcement that Neo 2 is coming. Man, did everyone decide to work on samurai games this year? Apparently. Next up was gameplay footage from the PlayStation 4 exclusive Spider-Man. We got to see Spidey doing his thing. He was trying to thwart a prison break courtesy of Electro that has set loose a bunch of bad guys across New York. It also introduced his partner Yuri, who Spidey chatted with while he was busy being a superhero. The footage culminated in a big battle with a bunch of other supervillains, including Electro, Rhino, Scorpion, and Vulture. This is definitely on my list. It's due out September 7th. Last up, they announced a new VR game from the folks at From Software. It's called The Racing, and they described it as a story adventure where you play as a spirit summoned by a young girl in a secluded boarding school. No release date yet, but it's definitely cool to see Sony is still sticking with VR. Last up was Nintendo, who gave one of their E3 Nintendo Directs this morning. And Nintendo announced the first Mario Party game for the Switch called Super Mario Party. It's coming October 5th, and it looks like it'll let you combine Switches to get your party on. They also announced that Fortnite Battle Royale is launching on the Switch today. By the time you watch this, you'll probably be able to play it. Let us know what you think. They also announced a new mech action game, Daemon X Machina, that's coming 2019, and we got another look at Octopath Traveler. That's the old school sprite-based JRPG. It's coming July 15th. Oh, and some DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was announced. It's out September 21st. And Fire Emblem fans got a big boost with Fire Emblem Three Houses, which showcases the franchise's tactical combat with all new graphics. It's coming to the Switch next year. Finally, they dove really deep into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and the headline there is that all of the fighters, and we mean all fighters from past games, will be returning to the new game, along with fighters like the long-awaited Ridley from Metroid. It's due out December 7th for the Switch. All right, that is all the E3 news we've got for today. Don't forget, keep watching our channel all day. We've got a ton of developer interviews coming up. Be sure to like and subscribe, and for all of your news from every corner of the internet, as well as E3, like this video, subscribe to the Know. They also announced a new mech action game. They also announced a new mech action game, Daemon X Machina, that's coming in 2019. We also got another look at Octopath Traveler that's coming July 13th. What's that?
Daemon X Machina.
Sorry. Ubisoft also announced from